Hi everybody, I'm Vania and I'm here for the second episode of my release of podcast, Learn to Shine. And as one of my guests today, I've got Dorca who's accompanying me for this particular podcast. The whole concept is going to be around content and how you can use content to self-develop yourself. So I'm really excited to welcome Dorca to come in. Hello.
Hi.
So good to have you here. Honestly, I feel so excited because I have to say I've been meeting Dorca through social media. She doesn't live in Madrid and we are now in Madrid, so get the chance.
Yes, what
Get the chance to have her here.
yes, what a coincidence that I came after some weeks of meeting you.
Super. So I would love if you want to share a little bit about you, so for the audience, and you can share a little bit about where you're based, like who you are, and share about your content journey. We're gonna, as I said, for the podcast of today, the main topic is discussing how we can actually help and inspire people through content. In the end, me and you, we have very similar, I would say, niche type of content. So that's how we actually connected, but I will hand over to you so you can introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Dorca, as you already heard. I'm from Hungary, actually, but I'm living in Vienna right now, working in sales, actually, next to creating content professionally as well. And you asked how my content journey started, right?
Content and all of the things, and at some point, you connect with like-minded people.
Exactly.
And I don't know how we started following each other, right? Like you
Yeah.
remember, sometimes we have people that you follow that not necessarily is into the same mindset, but we ended up seeing how the type of content, the style, the way of proposing ourselves within internet was actually very similar. So
The
then
topics.
exactly, like the topic very similar, and that's how we came across. And then it turned out that how did we figure out that we were coming to Madrid? I don't remember.
I think you texted me on Instagram that you didn't know that I live in Vienna,
Yes.
but you are planning to come to Vienna.
Yes.
And if we meet for a coffee or something like that when you
Exactly.
come. And then I was like, oh yeah, but I see that you live in Madrid and I'm actually coming like in 2 weeks.
Nice, exactly. That was the story. Basically, we connected beside of TikTok. We connected also on Instagram, and we saw each other like location. And just specifically in that time frame where we connected, she already planned a trip to Madrid, which was what a coincidence that I say, like never a coincidence in this life.
Yes, never.
But that's how we are here today. So I'm super, super excited to have you.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting.
You're welcome. So basically today I would love to share a little bit more about the content journey, if you can give a bit of the context, how you started, and specifically focusing on the fact that you create, as me, content around self-love. Like, where does this come from? Why did you decide to start with this topic? And also, what is self-love for you?
Self-love for me. Okay, let's start with my social media journey. So actually, I was always really passionate about social media, and I've always posted, and I tried several type of contents. I worked for some music festivals to create content for them. I did my exchange semester in Madrid, actually. And then I started posting travel content. But when my exchange semester ended, I suddenly didn't know what to post about because I don't know, didn't find the topic in Vienna what I really enjoy. Because I did enjoy traveling, but I'm not traveling that much right now, actually. So yeah, then I started to just post different things and then see which is really something that suits me and I'm really like passionate about. And then it turned out it's self-care and self-development because I actually love to learn more about myself and more about these kind of topics every day anyways. And I saw on social media that many people are struggling with it to find themselves and to become their best version.
I love it.
So I just decided to continue with it because I love to help people as well, and I think it's a very good way.
Yeah, that's exactly also how I started, right? I felt like I was telling you already when we chat the first time, my journey was similarly. I wanted to really inspire and help people from the standpoint that I've been going through a lot of things and some struggles. And I wish at that point in life I had that support, right? So I feel like if I was in that position and I didn't find a support, or actually at some point I did, because of course then you go through and you develop and so on. But then how beautiful would be to help anybody that is into that stage and doesn't see the light yet, right? So very similarly to you, like my content is about how you can inspire people into their best version, self-love journey, what it means self-love and all of this. And I also would ask you, like, because we're discussing the topic, like, what is for you self-love?
For me, self-love is, I think, the way how you treat yourself and how you think. And it's not just like physical things, how you treat yourself, but also like what's going on in your mind and like how you like is, of course, everyone has like negative thoughts, but like how you overcome them and how you try to influence them.
I think I would add that I completely agree with your points, specifically because my project, it includes all of these pieces. And for me, similarly as you, I say self-love, it's about how you treat yourself, how you dress up, how you present yourself to the whole external part. Therefore, I think what you eat is super important. The type of exercise that you do is super important, because you need to feel good with your
people
body.
you surround yourself with as well.
Exactly. The whole surrounding, the whole space, every type of energy that you are projecting yourself within, it's helping the type of mindset that you're also able to develop, right? So that's why I also then love the type of mindset that I try to inspire for people. Because, as you say, it's all about how you feel, but then the way you overcome things, it's because you're able to project the positive within your mind that helps you also how you feel about yourself. So it's a chain almost, right?
Yes, even if something negative happens to you or something like not that good. I don't know, I realized that in the past, I don't know, 2 years, my mindset really changed about this, because I don't see negative things as a bad thing anymore, but I see it as something that I can learn from.
Exactly.
And yes.
That's exactly the point. And specifically, I would love to give a bit more emphasis on that element of how you can find this type of content, because in the end, as you say, your surrounding, everything, it's going to impact the way that you love, the way that you can show yourself that you love yourself, right? And also the type of content that you consume is going to help or slow down your process to love yourself. And I feel that today there is so much around, the having content and access to internet, a lot of resources that you can use. But then by choosing what you want to pick, to listen, to read, to talk about, is going to affect the way that you feel. Or what's your view on this?
Yeah, I really do think that there is a lot of content on the internet, and also like books and stuff. You can buy or download everything. You don't even need to have to go to a bookstore. You can just download it, really. And so it's really, you can access it every time. Kind of content that you consume really does influence how you think. So I think people should be more careful of choosing what type of content they are
watching or listening, 100%, because even, and I connect also at this point, it's not the main topic, it's probably for a different type of, it's probably for another podcast, but also music, right? For example, even what you listen in terms of music, this is going to impact you in such a way.
Yes.
Yeah, so the way that
it's the same with content.
Exactly, same. And that's why I feel it's so important that you decide and learn what is beneficial for you to listen and what is beneficial to let go, right? Because if you want to develop yourself, then you need to surround yourself with the right people, as you said, but also surround and put yourself in places where you can listen, where you can read, where you can be inspired by the type of content that elevates you.
Exactly. Yeah, I see it just as you said.
Super. So yeah, everything basically that happens is just giving you that context of how you can learn and how you can develop yourself. Actually, I have a question for you. Do you have any specific memory, anything that you would like to share when you think of, yes, that has been a moment that I've been using content to help my development journey, to help myself to feel better, to love the way that I live. So,
Yes, actually, there was, I think, 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago, let's say 4 years ago, there was a movement, and actually, there is still a movement in Austria, or actually everywhere in the world, but coming from Austria, it's called Project 50. I
okay.
don't know if you've heard
No.
about it. So there was this movement in Austria, Project 50, where people, it's a 50 days challenge where people have to follow 7 rules and document it online while they are completing this challenge. And these 7 rules are really helping you to become your best version, like sleep 8 hours every day, drink enough water.
So it was like tips and habits that they were
It were habits, yes, that
Nice.
you have to follow throughout these
50 days.
And there was also one rule to document it. You didn't necessarily have to document it on social media, but like write a journal or something. But a lot of people started posting these, like documenting these days and doing like daily walks for like 50 days. And like really, this was my whole Instagram back then. And this really motivated me. I've never done this challenge, this specific challenge. I did the 75-hour challenge. That's also kind of similar, but a bit different. But anyways, back to this. So yeah, I think this inspired me because like I saw all of these people working on themselves, trying to find something that they are really passionate about and pursue their dreams and live their best life at the same time. Yeah. So I think that was the most inspiring.
Nice.
That also contributed to the fact that I'm posting about self-care and self-care and self-care.
And when did you start with your content creation journey?
I think I started to taking it seriously like 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't find my topic back then, so I posted about like music stuff, traveling, and then I don't remember any other specific, but yeah, and then I came to self-care and self-love, and also like lifestyle combined with motivational stuff, mindset stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's exactly how I do. But it's quite interesting that you started, you said, a couple of years ago already. So.
But with self-care, I started around 6 months ago.
Okay, so you've been developing also through content,
yes, exactly.
basically, just finding yourself, right?
Exactly. So this project actually made me read my first non-fictional book, which I actually fell in love with, and yeah, since then it's just it's not a straight up journey, but it's getting better. I really have the feeling that everything is starting to come together.
Yeah, I think exactly the same. Once you know what you're being called for in this world, you know, because in the end, like it's all, I always call it life purpose, you know, everybody comes and there's a specific goal, and sometimes it takes you through a journey to understand what you are made for. And this happens also with content, you know, you just start posting and potentially then you find a specific area that makes you comfortable, that makes you happy to share and try to motivate, and it gives you, sometimes I also have to say, I see people struggling, and then it's because they are really pushing for the crave of having content or just pushing out stuff, right?
But it's not the same.
Exactly. That was exactly what I wanted to say. Then it turned out that it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't give you the energy that you should receive, right? Then it just consumes you.
Exactly.
And we go back to the beginning, like how do you love yourself? Like how do you take that particular action to develop yourself through content you can consume, or you can also produce? Because to be honest, for me, the fact that I also produce it, I'm glad to inspire people, but the fact of me producing it also feeds me.
Yes, exactly. I think self-love is also about finding a purpose, I think.
Yeah.
If find this calling that really fulfills you. And
Okay, so I've got a question. Do you have any tip for somebody that potentially want to start developing themselves through content? Like, I feel as we spoke, there is so much content, there is so many information that we can get super easy access through internet. And type of books, there is videos, there are podcasts, there are so many things. Like if you would have somebody that wants to use content to develop themselves and to go through that journey, as we speak, like about loving themselves and to develop, into their path, because everybody has got a very different journey. So I don't believe that there is one specific way for every, right? So everybody needs to find their own way. But if you would give some advice, like what would be for you something for somebody that wants to be approaching and develop themselves?
well, I think for me, what really helped was starting to read self-development books, because I don't know, I was like always thinking about the things that I've read, and then I realized not the mistakes, but the things that I'm not doing well in my life, and I really consciously try to change them because of these books. So yeah, I think that would be my.
Do you have any example of books then?
My favorite one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon. And it's about your mindset. It's not about like getting rich with money, but getting rich in life, in your mind. Yes. And also I really loved the 101 essays that changed the way you think. I know it's really hyped on TikTok now, but I really recommend it actually.
Super. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, personally, I don't like reading so much. I'm not so good with this. That's why, from my perspective, like I started using shorts, even like, when initially I was sometimes checking on TikTok and listening to video, and then I shifted to podcasts, right? So I really like to listen to things because that makes me more engaged, like it's on the go, like you can just go through and you can really use that time in a more efficient way, potentially. While with the book, you really need to say, okay, I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna be there and read it. So it's a little bit, I feel, higher investment for somebody that potentially is starting. So, if you want to approach things and go for like really shorts and follow a person that that speaks about, I don't know, self-love topics, or it could be speaking about how to improve your career. Like I'm also listening a lot of things about how to improve your leadership skills or this type of things, which really helps you figure out where are the areas of improvement that you have just by spending little time and listening to somebody that has got a little bit more experience than you, right? Or potentially has been already going through that journey, so that you can really take the inspiration. And that's also what we're trying to do with this podcast. So hopefully that's the goal that we're sharing.
I agree with you. So I have to admit I didn't really like listening to podcasts in the beginning, but right now I'm more like a podcast person than listening to music when I'm on the way somewhere, because it is also a thing that really helps you to keep your mind in the right place, and learn new things without actually really investing time, because you can do it anytime you want.
Yeah.
So yes, I also think that it's a really good thing to educate yourself through podcasts.
Super. All right. Well, there was a lot of things, I have to say. Do you have any last tips or last thing that you would like to share for anybody that is listening to us today?
Actually, I have one more thing to add to the question before. I also think that there are a lot of really nice creators on YouTube who create a lot of content about this. So actually, I would recommend YouTube over TikTok or Instagram in these topics. So yes.
Yeah, I would completely agree on the YouTube, but I also find quite some interesting podcasts, for example, on Spotify.
Yeah.
So just being on the go, as you say, like beside of choosing, sometimes you want to pick and not listen to music, you can go and they have like for 20 minutes, even just 20 minutes, pick a topic, you can search within Spotify and specific topic that you want to improve on, and then go and listen to it. There are podcasts that are way too long, to be honest. Sometimes you don't have that span of attention of hours. That's also why I feel it's always better the shorter, but with a good content, so that you can get the most out of it. So that would be my last tip also. But yeah, do you have any last? Otherwise, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think my one last advice would be to really look out the people you are spending time with it, because I realized that it is in the past year a lot, that it really does influence how you think and how you see the world. So I think that would be my last advice.
I'm gonna be very honest, that's gonna be also a podcast for another time about your surrounding, because I feel, as you say, it's so important to help or slow down your progress. And therefore there's gonna be another episode for anybody that is interested to hear about how you can make sure that your surrounding, that you are putting yourself in a surrounding that is helping you and making you grow within that environment, instead of building I would say, a dry ground where you don't have any space to. So, but yeah, thank you very much for sharing all of this. I'm sure that the audience is gonna love, especially guys, take the note of the books. We're probably gonna have it anyway within the comments, so that everybody can take advice or can get inspiration. And I would really want to thank you for taking this time for me, especially just in Madrid. So taking the time instead of being around and chilling, recording the podcast with me. So
thank you for inviting me. It was a really good experience.
Thank you. Super. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.